through the first settlers. I was so beguiled by these findings that I would spend the next 4 decades following their lead and unfolding an unknown chapter in Sephardic Jew history. Forget the merchants of Venice. His New World cousins were adventurers after my own heart. Sephardic Jew explorers, conquistadors, cowboys. Cowboys, Sephardic Jews, cowboys, Sephardic Jew, cowboys. All right. Who was the cowboys over here? All right. Who was the cowboys over here? They said Sephardic Jews, cowboys, right? Ladino, El Negro, Sephardic Jews. All right. All right. All right. Let's keep going. Buffalo Soldiers. There you go. There you go. Put it together. Put it together. All right. Why you think Bob Marley made a song about Buffalo Soldiers? Bob Marley, Rasta Sephardic Jews. Bob Marley. Marley is a Sephardic Jew last name. Put it together. All right. So, the Sephardic Jew explorers, conquistadors, cowboys, and yes, pirates, forbidden to settle in the New World. They came disguised as Christians. They came to the New World disguised as Christians. They and the other settlers were similar in spirit, but while the others came to conquer and convert the heathens in search for gold or collect a bevy of Indian women, the Sephardic Jews came to. So it was the order of the day. 100,000 Sephardic Jews left Spain, expelled as mandated by the royal edict of expulsion of Sephardic Jews. Those who remained behind or crossed the border to Portugal converted to Catholicism. And just to let y'all know, it's a difference between Catholic and Judaism. Those are two different things. They're not the same. The most adventurous went to the New World. It is about this group that our story is told. Long before Spain, Jews was living there. Sephardic Jews was living there. Who's the Sephardic Jews? The Berbers. The Berbers. All right. King Solomon's trading post, 1000 BC, right? Long before Spain was Spain, Sephardic Jews was living there. King Solomon's trading post, 1000 BC, developed over the millennium to become Sephard, a strategic outpost of the Roman Empire. East United States, Sephardic Jews and Moors that was being kicked out. Now we're going to go to this book right here called Blackness in Latin America of the Caribbeans, right? Okay, flipping the page. They went by a different name after they left. They still Sephardic Jews and Moors, but they going by the title Ladino now, right? They going by the name of Ladino. So now they get kicked out. They land in Hispaniola, and this is where we start. In the western Hispaniola, where the French established Colonial Santo Domingo in the interior of the Spanish territory that eventually became Dominican Republic, right? Sustained a liberation atmosphere. Quote, from the first years of slavery on the island, Indians and Ladino slaves who are Sephardic Jews and Moors. Matter of fact, let me do this before we even talk about Ladinos. Do this, right? Before we even talk about a Ladino, let's understand what a Ladino is, right? And then we're going to go back to the reading. Let's understand what a Ladino is. Not Ladino, which comes before Latino. So, a Ladino, we're going to go to the Lexico Hispanoia Americano book, right? Let me for layman's term. It's a dictionary. All right. What's that in tab? So now we flip the page right here, right? What is a Ladino? A Ladino is El Negro. All right. Definition. Ladino, Ladino, Ladino is a what? El Negro, right? El Negro. Now, so, quote, with the fleet of Governor Ovando bound for Hispaniola in 1502. They just got kicked out in 1492, right? All right, in 1502, a reinvigorated and flattering colony that Columbus had left behind the previous year sailed, quote, a few Negroes, but Ladinos, bought out from their masters, the Arabs. Among them was the first Afro-American maroon. Afro-American maroon? We talking about Ladinos. What's the connection? Peep game. An anonymous slave who, quote, escaped to Indians, Arawak and Tianos, to the mountainous interior soon after setting foot in the New World, unquote. In the West Sphere, quote, from the first years of slavery on the island, Indians and Ladino slaves had ran away to inaccessible mountains and throughout the colonial periods. Every mountain in Haiti was used at one time or another for fugitive slaves. We're talking about American Indians and Latinos. Who are the Latinos? El Negros. Who is the El Negros? Sephardic Jews and Moors. All right. The Puerto Rican historian Jalil Sue Badillo documents the process of slavery, self-liberation, and indigenous and Ladino rebellion, and the consequence for people in Europe, Africa, quote unquote, North Africa, right? And the New World in meticulous detail in Puerto Rico Negro, meaning Black Puerto Rico. He documents the first active indigenous and Ladino revolution in 1514 on the island of Puerto Rico. In this revolt, two Tiano Arawakan chiefs or caciques and their people allied with Ladino rebels. Who is the Ladinos? El Negro, Sephardic, Jews, Moors being kicked out of Spain in Europe, right? 1502, 1492, same people. All right. They fought with the Ladino rebels to fight actively against the governmental representatives of the Spanish crown. This was the beginning of the maroon in Puerto Rico. So what really is a maroon? We're going to let it breathe for a second. All right? We're going to let it breathe for a second. Just sip that coffee. Just sip that coffee real quick. Very indigenously. So what is a maroon? A maroon are American Indians and Latinos fighting together. Right? Right? Oof. Right? So his Ladino, we know Ladinos, right? His Ladino descendants, we are in the West Indies, which is America, and we're talking about the descendants of Ladinos. We just read that definition. Who are these descendants called? Creole. All right. So his descendants, Creole or Creoles, were believed to be loyal and superstitious. Hoodoo, voodoo, Santeria, I see it. Lighthearted, of low mentality, and distinctly in need of YT supervision. Got real YT supremacy right there. All right. But rut defines Nigeria. Here's the definition of Nigeria: as the total of Western Africa occupied by black people. How did they get that from Nigeria? Well, you got to break down Nigeria. Words and spells, etymology. Just break down Nigeria. Nigger comes from Niger, right? Niger is how you get Nigeria, or Nigeria, which is the beginning, Niger, which just means Nigger. You throw area at the end of Nigger. Nigga area, Nigeria, nigga area. Nigeria just means this is an area of Negroes. You might want to stop calling yourself Nigerian. And actually, most countries are actually offensive names when you look at the definition. Like Ethiopian, for an example. Ethiopian is Greek. It means burnt face. So when people walk around talking about I'm Ethiopian, you're All right, where we going with it? Where we going with it? We going right before the exile. All right. And we already know that they was doing an ethnic cleansing of the Sephardic Jews and Moors, right? And ethnic cleansing means an ethnocide, right? To unalive the nation and nationality of a people and enslave them, huh? All right, Jews and Moors. So there are some medieval Sephardic Jewish expressions to the effect that Jews were seen in Europe as black and ugly. I don't even think we got to read no more. I don't even think we got to read no more, man. They said what? I don't think we got to read no more. They said there are some medieval Jewish expressions to the effect that Jews were seen in Europe as black and ugly. Look, man, we ain't got to go no more. We ain't got to go no more. Hey, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. That right there was Signs for the Conscious Mind. I done already told you who your identity was. Nah, I'm just bullshitting. I'm just bullshitting. That was a short live, right? All right, that's it. Industry. Look, we ain't got to go no more, right? And scrolled up. This hit my head because I was looking for this when I was trying to tell you about what is the African diaspora. And we know that I showed y'all Ladino means El Negro, which means Sephardic Jews. We done already read the American Jewish book that said it. We done read another book that's dealing with Sephardic Jews that said El Negros and who these folks was. Now you can go down here. It says Ladino, African diaspora. African diaspora, Ladino. Ladino, African diaspora. Right? So what is the so-called African diaspora? It's the Sephardic Jew and Moor diaspora. All right. So that's what I wanted to show y'all.